Welcome back, people. After quite a tough loss against the 2D Sim Squad, Wooloo Gang is back with the doubleheader against Forehead 2.0. I am joined once again by the one and only Red Motherfucking Lightning.
What's up, guys? We're here to cast some tiebreaker games. We just came off of a tiebreaker game. It was hype. We got to see my man here, Mr. Lake Squash, absolutely pop off on his own, ban that champion. Even if you're not playing him, ban that champion. But if you're playing against him especially, ban the champion, or he will end you.
Hey, we're credit where credit's due. By bot lane, they got camped, but they still came out. We're super useful. Josh was a monster in the jungle, and my man Shane, Mr. Pooh in the top lane, was on point with the Mordekaiser. So it was a full team effort.
But you guys have a game. You guys have a game to play against Forehead too, right?
We do. I don't know when we're going to do that. Probably not tonight because I'm not trying to play past midnight. I'm trying to get some sleep, and I know you are as well.
True.
So yeah.
Haven't made a prediction for that game yet. I didn't predict these tiebreakers, but I don't know. The 2D Sim Squad might have changed some perceptions around here. So far, I had Forehead just being the absolute best team in these tiebreaker games, but I don't know, man. That Sim Squad game looked pretty good. We'll see how Forehead does against the Wooloo Gang, though. They did, unfortunately, if you're a Forehead player or fan, they did lose to Wooloo Gang in their last matchup. This was Big Ichi's first game of the season, the absolutely most hyped match we've had in this entire VCU LCS. Go back and watch it. It was excellent. Big Ichi returning from his Himalayan mountain retreat, getting out of the time chamber to absolutely clap up on some Forehead cheeks. But unfortunately, last game looks like his AFK buff ran out. He was not very good against. Was not very good against Mr. Lokesh. We'll have to see if he can bounce back here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really good. I just don't think he played the Akali versus Yon matchup properly. Because I mean, I think Akali wins that, or at least she's one of the few champions that can match Yon in the mid lane. That's a better way of putting it.
Does anyone truly beat Yon? No. That's the correct answer.
No, because like even like bad matchups like Irelia or like Renekton or even Zed, you can just like change up your runes a bit and then you're chilling. Just go like shield bash bone plating and you're fine. I mean, not really against Irelia. Irelia is like super skill based, but like whoever wins that early they just roll over the other person until Yon gets 3 items, then he rolls over Irelia. But you know that is what it is.
True. Fact check. True.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think any champion truly beats Yon in mid lane. It's just kind of, I just think he's really broken.
In honor of the upcoming election, I will be fact checking everything Lokesh says.
Okay.
All right, there. That's my one election thing. No more.
I think we're waiting on Mr. 4G.
4G, where are you?
Where's Mr. 4G?
Is it too late to postpone game? Don't know if he's memeing or not, but maybe. Jungle's computer apparently is not working. 4G's computer is apparently not working.
4G's computer, well, you know,
4G he has struggled with internet problems all season. He has had multiple games with disconnects and bad ping.
I mean, like, I think 4G is one of the only people in VCU LCS right now that's currently still playing on Nabicus, going back to the Egyptian era, so we might have to wait a little bit.
Did he try turning it off? I'm not sure, Sax Muffin. Maybe.
To try turning it off and turning it back on.
I hope he comes here. I hope he gets here, because I am excited to see this game. I'm excited to see Forehead get their revenge from their last...
Yeah, I mean
honestly, it was a throw. It was a throw. They had the game in their hands.
They did. They had fucking 3 drags. They had a level 16 Kale with 4 items, and then just Big Ichi happened, and then they weren't...
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1, Big Ichi was a monster that game. 2, they weren't really paying attention to the biggest of Ichis. I mean, He's literally big. Like, how can you not like fucking pay
How do you
attention to
miss him?
something that's that big?
No flame, but Big Ichi happened, and Allison did not. That was not one of his best games. I think he got caught and burst out in that fight. I'm pretty sure in one of those last fights. Really hope Big Ichi gets one of his friends here. He has an excellent name, and I can't wait to shout that out in a.
Nuts a flopping.
I can't wait to shout that out in the middle of a team fight.
How is the Dark Souls grind been going, Red Lightning?
It's great. I'm halfway through New Game Plus now. It's a lot of fun. You know what? It's weird to say like you're trying to relax, so you play Dark Souls. But that's the state of League of Legends right now. You know, I play a ranked game, and I'm like, you know what's less stressful than this ranked game? Dark Souls. That's less stressful, despite the tilt. So that's what I've been playing. Lots of fun. I started playing knowing I was gonna cast. I played some ranked games today, and it went about how you would expect playing ranked games. And now I hate League of Legends again, so I have to just find kind of bored with Dark Souls though, so I'll have to find another game to retreat into until January, in which the new season will start, and I will come out of hibernation ready to grind out 1,000 games in a month.
Ready to grind out 1,000 games in a month. Ready to get fucked by the new lethality items.
Yeah, ready to get placed into Silver 1, grind all the way up to Plat 4, and then stay there the rest of the season.
Dude, we're gonna have to. Everyone's gonna have to relearn League of Legends in the preseason. It's gonna be fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, no. Whoever, I think any player out here from, I'm gonna say from gold up, could probably hit diamond or maybe even masters if they just figured out the items faster than everyone else. If you did the learning, did the reading, it might be in the preseason when it really doesn't count, but you could preseason your way from gold to masters just from figuring out how these items work.
True. There's gonna be a lot of reading, a lot of theory crafting involved, but you know, eventually you'll get to a point where you just abuse items more than anything else, and yeah, I mean.
True. Unfortunately, most of League of Legends players I know are illiterate, so we won't be having much of that. It'll be a lot more just which assassin is the most broken, and that's how you're gonna climb. It doesn't matter what role you're playing.
Honestly, Zed with any of the new lethality mythics is like really fucking overpowered. Like, imagine
Zed is overpowered.
Zed.
That's insane.
Imagine invisible Zed with Duskblade. Then there's like Eclipse Zed, who like will one-shot tanks. Like actually ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean Zed's already ridiculous right now. So anything that makes him more ridiculous.
They did nerf him this patch.
Oh man, they nerfed him and his win rate dropped a whole 0.2%. That's insane. And he's still ranked as the best mid laner on OP.gg.
Hey, the best mid laner isn't Zed. It's Yone. Okay.
True, Yone does have a below 50% win rate, but I think a lot of that is because it's the Yasuo effect.
It is the Yasuo effect.
But he is actually ranked. Now OP.gg is by no means perfect with their rankings. I think their top 10 or so are pretty correct though, but they've got Zed at number 1, and especially before the nerf, that was hard to argue with. After the nerf, maybe it's a little closer. But they didn't. What did they do? Like take 5 damage off his E or something? Like not a lot.
I think max rank E has like 30 damage off of it.
30? No way, it was 30.
Like 20 or 30. I can check. Hold on.
Maybe 20. I think it was 20.
Let me check.
That sounds right. But you don't even max it.
Max rank E has 20 damage off of it. But yeah, you max it second. But like something I'd like to do versus shit like Diana and Yasuo as Zed, even Yone, like you put like 3 points into E and then max Q. But like now it's not really worth it anymore because like you're losing out on damage, so might as well just max Q instead.
Yeah, just max Q. It shouldn't hurt him in very many matchups. By the time you end up maxing E, your items will be much more important than the 20 damage you're gonna lose. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just glad they didn't touch his W because like the second they touch Zed's W, that's when the champion goes from like decent to shit.
I mean, they touched his W and he went from decent to the most OP champ. So, agreed.
Yeah. Looks like they do have I'm Kim subbing in.
The
For
VCU
forehead.
LCS super sub. She is subbed in for almost every team at this point. I feel like absolutely very flexible player. She deserves MVP.
She does deserve the MVP.
Everyone here is simp for Kim. No more simp for Sanj. Kim is the best sub. Wandon, I'm Kim Gap. GG Wooloo. Very true. Kim has like a, I don't know, 90% win rate or something right now. I feel like she's played like 8 or 9, 10 games, and I think she's only lost 1. So.
But yeah, anyways, I think we are jumping into draft soon. Give me a second. Fucking Miles, no good team to watch today. Boring. Oh my god. Pro draft. Where the fuck is pro draft on my stream? Here it is. Are they starting draft? They said they're going to start draft. They haven't started draft yet.
I just never even got the pro draft. Is this the spec link?
I can send it to you real quick. One second.
I think I got it. Hopefully, yeah, this is the spec link. Good.
All right.
I was just worried it was their pick link. I just picked their draft for them. Honestly, these teams should hire me.
Never mind. 4G is here.
Oh, 4G has arrived. Excellent. We will see these games. Sorry, Kim. As happy as we were to see you, 4G is the actual player here. Good to see these teams at their full strength. So, Mr. Lokesh, Mr. Commissioner, always love having you in the cast so you can fill me in on these rules that I'm too lazy to read. Do they lose any bans in this game now that 4G is here?
Now that 4G is here, I mean, they didn't give a set time, so they technically shouldn't lose any bans. I mean...
If they didn't have a game time set.
And y'all didn't have a set game time, so the ban's lost now. Pretty sure. Alright, looks like Ben has agreed with it. Nice, let's go. Let's turn on the face cam. What's up, guys? I finally got a haircut, as you can see.
Lokesh face cam? I have to watch. I'm gonna watch the stream now. I'm not even gonna watch the.
Lokesh face cam up in this bitch.
I'm not watching this live. I'm watching the stream. There he is. Look at that beautiful face.
Yes, sir. Mr. Red Lightning, I still have your where is it? Your bottle opener.
Oh no. Yeah, I do need to come get that.
At some point. Anyways, Warwick is banned out. No surprise there. I don't have anything else to say. What about you, Red Lightning?
Yeah, very expected pick to come, or ban to come out. The Warwick one trick. The Aatrox ban following it up, shocking. Targeting each other's best-known champs for the captains here. Not a surprise. I'd expect to see the Diana ban following up, not surprising at all. Either Big Ichi's had it banned out every game, and I'd expect to see a bunch of top lane champs banned out from Wooloo Gang. Yeah, instantly going to the Mordekaiser.
Already Aatrox Mordekaiser gone. It's just like we ban Ben and Big Ichi, and then we ban Dane, and then
and Dane.
And Dane. But like,
we banned Dane in the first round and Dane in the second round if he hasn't picked yet.
Well, one thing I don't understand is why don't people ban out Allison's champions? Because like he's picked Rise first round every single game he's played, right? And I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick it if Wooloo Gang doesn't lock it. I mean, if Forehead 2.0 doesn't lock it, I expect Wooloo Gang to pick it because Big Ichi also does play Rise. Never mind. There's a Rise. Allison's Rise.
There's the Rise. Yeah, I think they're just more scared of Fat Cow's champ pool. I think it's easier to think. It's kind of the effect of like, regardless of how good he is at Rise, you're not like scared of a Rise. Like especially in this meta, you're not scared of a Rise. You're not like, oh no, Rise is locked in. How do I counter that? You know what I mean? Most control mages right now, I think, kind of fit this same factor. I don't think any of them are like strong enough that you see them locked in and you're not comfortable counterpicking. So as long as you're on red side here, you get the counterpick mid no matter what if you want it. So just leave up all the mid lane champions. You know Allison is famous for picking mages, Xerath and Rise. I think are the only two. He's pretty much he's played a game of Orianna as well. So only play control mages so far this tournament. and instantly being able to pick the Lucian there to counter. There's just so many things you can do. You can either take a champ like Lucian or an assassin and try to punish them in lane, or you could pick your own control mage and just take that even matchup, and it'll be comfortable for both of you. So it's
Oh
not
yeah.
really. I don't think banning out control mages from any control mage player is a really smart tactic. Knowing that this applies to myself as well, because they're kind of just in a bad spot right now. They
I
can be
mean,
countered
yeah, I
so
feel
easily.
like a lot of control mages are not that great, bar a few. But
You
those.
can, you can play Orianna, but like the biggest thing about being able to play Orianna is that you can play her into any matchup. But it's not like she wins any. Like it's not like you're like, oh wow, I have to. He picked Orianna. I can't pick anything into it. You're like, okay, well, maybe she's playable into any matchup, but it's not like she wins every matchup. She probably you can still easily counter that, or you just play a control mage of your own back into it. It they don't. No one's ever really scared when you lock in a mage right now. I think the meta is much more revolving around these picks like Lucian and other AD and AP assassins. I mean, when you see Yone come in locked from Lokesh, you're frightened. You are shaking in your boots. I'm surprised.
Fucking Yode.
I'm surprised Big Ichi didn't ban it away from Allison just from PTSD. But
Oops.
you know,
Fucking. Keep going. That's fine. I accidentally pressed the wrong button on my computer.
sad. We do see two more bans coming out against Dane, Volibear and Ornn, two of his most played champs recently. So, or Ornn always, and then Volibear recently since the rework. So, taking the tactic of just banning 5 of Dane's champions, not surprising. We've seen almost every team take this tactic. And then the Samira actually picked up from Wooloo Gang as well, giving themselves an OP champ in the bot lane. It will be laning against the Senna, but I think Samira is the best ADC in the meta right now. Just pick her if she's up. So, win for red side.
Well, I mean, so Mr. Simfersan's Cherish, top 1 ADC VCU, bottom 3 ADC VCU, has been playing a decent amount of Samira, and we actually kind of sniffed it out the previous game once they locked the Alistar. Samira in general is a pretty terrible first pick champion, because you can just build comps just to like completely nullify her, but when you build a comp around her like this with the Sejuani and the Alistar, multiple ways to CC people and like just get the setups ready for Samira to just like wreak havoc on anyone, I think she becomes a really, really strong champion.
Agreed.
So I think what it'll come down to in this case, will teamwork reign supreme over just season 10 diff that Wooloo Gang has. And yeah, even more setup for Samira with the Malphite. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, another thing I do want to mention is Wooloo Gang technically is full AD unless the Malphite decides to go some ability power. One more thing to note is Ryze gets pretty donkey doo-doo dick slapped around by Lucian. That's not a good matchup at all.
Yeah. I think Wooloo Gang absolutely clapped this draft. I think they exploited a weakness that Forehead has, which is Allison's champ pool. I mean, they didn't ban any of his champs, and he insta-locks his Ryze because he just really wants to play it. So Wooloo Gang was able to, because of that, you want to target, usually you want to target your bans towards the players that you think are the most dangerous, which obviously they think that Fat Cow, and I would assume they think Allison is the most dangerous player on that team outside of Fat Cow, but you got to target 5 bans against Fat Cow and counterpick him and counterpick Allison. So you get an absolutely awesome matchup in the mid lane here, even though you didn't ban a single mid lane champ. And you should only be able to counterpick if blue side is worried about it. You should only be able to counter either top or mid when you're on red side. I mean, with the way the draft lined up, they were able to counter both and only have to ban out one. So I think they just absolutely clapped the draft when it comes to the solo lanes. While there might be a bit of a player diff in the top lane here, I don't think Renekton is super good in the Malphite. I think Proxy won't have too hard of a time in that matchup. He'll be very tanky. He'll grab some armor. It should be a-okay. Meanwhile, the bot lane, you're a little worried. I mean, Samira Alistar is a really good comp, a really good bot lane. You have a lot of good setup built around it. The only win I think that Forehead got in draft was they were able to counter the Sejuani with a Trundle. So that's nice. It's a classic Sejuani counter. But, we'll have to see if that's really enough, because I think they could be at some pretty big deficits in top lane and bot lane. And meanwhile, I don't think they're going to be able to get the requisite win in top lane that they need to balance that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like this is the most Samira comp I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
That's
there's some good CC
there is
to kind of shut her
CC, yeah,
down.
definitely. I mean, the thing is, it's really on like Leona and Renekton to just sort of like make sure that Samira can't get like more than like 0.001 second of her ult out in these fights. Like you're gonna have to like really sit there and like make sure that she's not allowed to play the game, and that's a lot of pressure really on both those champions because like it's really like one, I think it's hard to keep track of Samira because she's like moving around all the time. It's like Katarina where you stand still when you ult, right? You can like you're very mobile.
Yeah,
Just
because
don't cast your
Katarina
E.
wasn't already busted enough.
True. I mean, like
Just make a
you
better
can press
version.
E in ult, you can press your W in your ultimate. Like it's a little ridiculous. The champion's not balanced, definitely. And yeah, we'll have to see
Of course not.
how things work out here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Forehead could still win this game, but I expect them to get set back early pretty hard here. I don't. I mean, it's going to take a lot of team play and coordination. I think that Trundle should be hanging out bot lane as much as he could, like the bot mid. I think, yeah, you might want to help Fat Cow actually get an advantage here in the top lane, but like even if he does, there's a lot of tanky members there, and I don't know how much of an advantage he's really going to be able to get against landing against a Malphite, a guy that in proxy who's despite being lower ranked is definitely accustomed to playing these tank matchups. Um, and then you also got the Sejuani and Alistar with this ult up. I mean, it's gonna be hard to pilot Renekton in these team fights with all the crowd control and all the tanky members. So I think getting your bot lane ahead, or more importantly, keeping their bot lane and keeping their mid lane from getting ahead on you in the first place, is going to be the jungle's biggest priority here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think like one big thing that 4G should maybe incorporate into his jungle pathing is work towards a situation where you can maybe get a gank off topside so Renekton can get an advantage and continue to push his lead, and then try your best to neutralize mid so that Ryze can just sort of chill there and like try his best to not die, and then like just perma focus bot lane. I think that's definitely the move for this Trundle. But a lot of things that he needs to understand is that Trundle isn't really good at like actually ganking in general. He really relies on the setup because he just sort of
Big
runs
time.
it. He just sort of runs at people. I did play a decent amount of Trundle last semester in VCU LCS towards the tail end of the tournament, and I can confirm Trundle's ganks are not very good.
Yeah, luckily he's got some decent setup in every lane. Renekton has his stun. Leona Senna is pretty notorious. They do have really good engage with Leona, and then good, decent follow up with the snare from Senna. And then Ryze, point and click, slow or snare, depending on whether he's put his E on them or not. So decent setup in all three lanes here. Just not necessarily the best matchups to play into. And if Sejuani's around, I think they win that. I think in mid and bot, they'll win that 3v3 pretty easily, depending on how the setup is when it starts. It's a little bit worrisome because I don't think blue side really wins early or late. So I think
they really don't. I mean, the scaling. If we take the Ryze out of the equation, the scaling is definitely on the side of Wulu Gang. And even though Ryze hyperscales into late game, it's not as if they can't just like CC lock him down and he won't be able to react to anything, because you have so much CC, you have so much setup, you got so much damage as well, Samira and Lucian. But again,
exactly.
Wulu Gang doesn't have any ability power on their team.
Yeah, the biggest advantage for blue side in the late game is that with no AP, and then with some decently tanky members of your own, I mean, Trundle I expect to go mostly tanky, and if he's ulting Malphite or Sejuani, or Alistar during his ult, he's going to be really tanky himself as well. Renekton, not a tank by any means, but does get some items that make him kind of beefy, and he can get some armor as well. And then Leona, one of the tankiest supports out there. So it's not going to be a breeze to get through any of these champs with no AD in the late game, but they've got a lot of late game things you like. I mean, you have a Sejuani ult to look for picks, you have Malphite ult to engage team fights or also look for picks, and he's just good in team fights in general if you can hit the priority carries with it. And great setup and great peel for your Samira. who, even if she doesn't have any AP, could definitely just clean up a team fight if she's able to be left alone for a little bit. And then, Lucian's another ADC. People always talk about how Lucian doesn't scale super good. Usually they're talking about he doesn't scale good compared to the other ADCs, which are generally the best scaling champions in the game. Compared to most champions, I'd still say a late game Lucian is still 6-item, 40-minute Lucian is still definitely dangerous.
Oh yeah, especially with like the build that people have been going lately, the Man Immune into Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge. He just so much goddamn damage is just unreal. It's actually really crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely still scary.
You don't even have to be good at Lucian to take advantage of how broken the champion can be. Sometimes you just need to press R and they just die.
Exactly.
Like...
So it's gonna be pretty tough here. I think Red side is pretty hard outclassed in this early game, just based on the lane state of mid and bot. I think late game they're pretty even, but that's just a little scary to me when I'm looking at their comps, because normally if your comp is trash early, you're better than them late, and you want that. You're hoping for that good late game scaling. But right now you're like, oh, our comp is trash early, and we still kind of don't. We're not really better than them late game. It's probably closer to even. So they really have to focus hard on just not getting steamrolled here early. Don't let them get off to a big gold lead. Don't let them snowball and grab all the objectives here. Because if you get really far behind, you're not going to reach late game in an even game state. You're going to be, really far set back. But if you can get to 25, 30 minutes, be pretty even on objectives, 1 or 2k down maybe, that's plenty acceptable, and then you can be in a good state. Marcus already having to blow his flash, though, from that early invade. A little scary for the bot lane that we think is already might have problems against this comp.
Yeah, I need to fix these champion orders really quickly. 1 second. All right, there we go.
Allison absolutely smurfing on Sodalist, getting that huge chunk of damage there.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like Big Ichi decides not to start E actually in this matchup, which is really
interesting. Yeah, I think
I think E start is like really good into Rise, because like he walks up to hit a minion and you just run him down.
I mean, if you start E there on Lucian, you chunk Rise out to half right there. Instead of getting instead of getting 1 Q, you dash in when he walked up for that W, and you get 2 autos, another auto, you just auto him all the way back to his turret, and you chunk Rise out to half HP before lane even starts.
Yeah, that's like kind of the goal here. Allison already doing a decent amount of damage to Big Ichi. Wins out on that trade, but I mean, Lucian, you don't really need to push for level 2. You spike at level 1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, well,
like no one can really fight you.
If he took E, I kind of agree, but since Rise is able to kind of he's playing at his W range, just walking up and hitting W. Lucian's not really in range to trade those autos back. And so it's just a W for Q, and Rise, can trade evenly right there. But if Lucian had taken his E, he gets to dash forward like this and actually get those autos off afterwards. So could have won out a little bit harder early, but still up to an 8 CS lead pushing this in. Rise will collect some, but looks like Lucian's going to be ahead after the first 2 waves.
Yeah, it's just Lucian mid in general. Allison's going to have to just chill back a little bit and just play to survive. That's the biggest thing.
Big time. I like what Red Side's doing here, letting Blue Side get a slight push. Not too much, because you don't want to give up absolute bot priority, but enough that you can get a workable lane state where you can try to use your Alistar Samira to actually pull them forward and have the room to go in and look for kills yourself. Trundle coming in already, though. They do have Big Ichi caught out, but he is forced to use his flash, so good pillar from Trundle here, actually getting behind him. Alistar goes in as well,
actually coming in immediately. You can see the knockup rolling through bottom 3 ADC, getting him down with the Samira passive. Just really broken. He's actually not in range to finish him off. That's actually really well played, avoiding the gank coming in. Albatelli decides to go in again.
Oh, no.
For some reason, First Blood goes over to bottom 3 ADC. Maybe she tried to take Ben into tower range, but one thing you do need to know about Leona is that she goes to the target that the E last hits, right? It's like the max range E, she will always go to that target. It's not the one closest to you. But yeah, Dane does get a good trade in the top lane against the Malphite.
It feels bad, because I was about to talk about how Albatalia absolutely actually smurfed that fight. She managed to CC the correct target every single time. She's the only reason Marcus lived. She managed to grab and put the crucial crowd control on both between Samira and Alistar to keep her Senna actually like alive and moving and not crowd controlled the whole time. So she was able to limp away with 1 HP, but then just at the very end there, makes a pretty big misplay, gets a little greedy trying to secure them under tower and stun them up so you take more turret shots, and accidentally kills herself. So had played the exchange really well up until that last ability.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I just think you just take it and you leave it. You don't need to greed too hard. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe Senna lived there. Like, I think they should
Yeah.
they should be absolutely happy going, holy crap, Senna survived that with no flash, even with Sejuani coming in as well. But
Oh,
you know,
Fat Cow
in the
going
end,
in for a small trade. The W does go through. Attack speed slowed so much. God, that is painful to watch.
yeah. I mean, it's just kind of what we're talking about in this matchup. Proxy has still has one more corrupting pot left. Is losing in
Big
farm a
Ichi
lot.
is
Big
rooted
Ichi's
up,
here,
but
but so is,
Sodalist is there for the counter gank.
I don't think you continue this fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forge getting a little memeing back. Good to see. But
maybe a solo kill will come through for Allison on the rise. Flashes in.
Solo
Lucian gets
kill.
solo killed by the rise in the winning matchup. That's what
Now
we
that's-
like to see.
It's what you like to see as a forehead fan. That is not good for Big Ichi. Bot lane going in, Alistar taking a trade right away here, but he is at a level disadvantage to the Albataya here. While they are under turret to prevent much damage being traded back onto them, that trade really accomplishes a whole lot of absolute nothing.
It really does. I mean, Lucian still does also have the advantage mid lane right now, even with that int. But with the pressure that his bot lane is putting in on Wooloo Gang's bot lane, Free Dragon comes through. Bit of a small trade onto Proxy. Fat Cow will back off once again. The Leona stun lands again.
Sax Muffin.
4G is here for the gang. Sax Muffin might go down
No
here.
flash.
Yeah, he is dead. That is a dead Alistar. Bottom 380C will be forced to E away to safety.
Forehead is just absolutely smurfing on him down here. I mean, the fact that Rise is able to get a solo kill in this matchup is just insane. I mean, it shouldn't happen. And while there were other members around, nobody touched him. So, it was good for him to capitalize on the fact that his flash had been low earlier. Big Ichi's going to get punished. Good flash from 4G, but he's just going to kill himself.
Why are you walking into a Lucian with ultimate? You're just going to die. What?
Yeah, you.
Oh my god!
You
so
got
confused.
a good chunk on there. You forced him back, but once he's over the wall, once he's over the pillar, and you notice he's level 6 and you're level 4, that's got to be the end of that trade. So giving a little bit of gold back over to Big Ichi, keeping this mid lane matchup even. Actually, he's slightly ahead now with that kill, but still, I think Allison's not upset. I mean, he would have rather been ahead here, but the fact that he's not 1K behind. I think he's perfectly happy with him this rise.
The fact that he's not 0-17.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he should be a lot. He's not behind at all, really. But he just
really isn't. There might be a dive coming into right here. That is a dead rise, actually.
Good dive.
Goodbye to Allison. Well played by Sodalist and Big Ichi.
Extremely well played by Sodalist, knowing that he could come in there. He wasn't level 6 yet, but he had the aftershock to tank up after the turret, and he waited till Allison, not only the wave was there, but he was out of mana, so he couldn't actually really trade any abilities back to get any extra damage. So picked a perfect time to come in from behind and punish that rise under turret.
Most definitely.
Just imagine where he'd be if he didn't get the solo kill. I mean, he'd be in a really rough spot here. He still kind of is. He is actually now down 700 gold. So, not ideal, but would have been a lot harder if that solo kill didn't come in.
Sax Muffin is now here for a gank onto Allison. I don't know what he's doing. He's taking so much damage, actually. He's going to have to run away from this one. Ignite goes through once again. He's going too deep. Sax Muffin picks up the kill card on that one, but Shutdown goes over to Allison on the rise. He's in trade back. Now a gank is coming top lane. Fat Cow. Will he be able to do this in a 1v2? Kills off Sodalist. Now has full Conqueror stacks. Double kill goes through for Fat Cow. What a 1v2 in the top lane. Well played.
Outplayed in the top lane. They just don't have the damage to actually kill him up. This is a Malphite and a Sejuani. I don't really understand why they felt like they wanted to make that play. Yes, Proxy's absolutely getting punished and hammered in terms of CS here, but you're a Malphite. You don't need it. You only need enough CS to keep you like tanky enough so that Renekton's not one-shotting you, and with your natural abilities,
Oh,
should be easy enough. But now you've donated 2 kills over to Fat Cow, along with that
wait.
50 CS lead.
I just want to make a quick point. When that gank happened, Proxy had not backed yet. While Fat Cow
Oh,
still had a back off. He was doing that gank
ooh.
with a corrupting pot. Even the simplest of claw farmers could have turned that.
Yeah, not
He's also
not
like
good.
kind of getting beaten by Boris here, opting for the chain vest and 2 ruby crystals over a bramble vest and a tabby.
Yeah, I would have
That
liked to see
is,
just a straight tabby buy right here.
yeah, that's not ideal. Because like Renekton has Boric now. A bramble vest would have helped you a ton. I'm not really liking this. Next thing you know, we're gonna see a black cleaver out of Samira again.
I think Wooloo might be playing with a little bit of tilt. They did just get hard smashed in their matchup earlier, so they might be
Another gank coming
not the
through
best
onto
mental
Proxy.
state.
Force
Proxy has
the
his ult though,
out.
should get out. I don't think 4G needed to ult there. I think he could have just let they should have expected Malphite to just ult out. So try to save whatever cooldowns you can, force the ult out, and then just come back later. But it's not like Trundle ult is that long of a cooldown. It's not the end of the world by any means.
Yeah.
We do see the bot lane from Wooloo Gang. They are up a good bit of CS. They're up 20 here. They are pretty strong, but not strong enough to kind of counteract the fact that their other lanes are behind.
tags the Leona's. TP is coming through from the Renekton. Dane, Mr. Fat Cow, has joined into the fight. Saxmuffin gets blown up before he can even use the Alistar ult, as the Senna ult comes through for just a bit of extra damage, laying a message down saying, I am ready. We will win this game. Lucian is a really balanced champion, by the way.
Renekton didn't even need his ultimate in that fight. I saw his ultimate had come up right before he TP'd in, and I was ready for him to really put the clapping on them with it, but he didn't even need it.
Still here. They're going in aggressive onto the bot lane. He
now he ults to get the
have
extra
flash
fury.
up. Immediately takes down bottom 3 ADC with the slice and dice. Marcus the Wasian will go down, actually. Kill goes over to Sodalus. Not really the target you wanted to go for. Surprisingly, no gold. No assist gold over to bottom 3 ADC. Big Ichi.
Yeah. 4G, we've seen that fight a couple of times. 4G does not want that with Big Ichi, but this is a crocodile div here. I mean, Dane is absolutely putting this matchup on his back. Not that everyone else isn't playing great, but absolutely styling on these guys with this Renekton. I did not think he'd be able to open up this matchup this wide against Proxy's Malphite, but with the couple of misplays coming in from the top and jungle, and he is looking really good here. 5-0 on this Alistar, already up to a 2.7k gold lead against Proxy.
Dane is Dane is the VCU gold top laner for a reason. He is extremely good at the role. Provided he doesn't get permanently dove over and over again, he consistently does beat out on his opponents.
Yeah, this is exactly where you want to be, I think. I think this is as good as you could have hoped this game to go if you're blue side here. You're not winning everywhere. I mean, Big Ichi is up a couple hundred gold in the mid lane. Does have a lot more farm. You are down farm and gold in your bot lane still. But the fact that your top is so ahead and you're actually overall like 2k up is just massive for this comp that should get kind of styled on so hard in the early game. Good off from Sejuani, peels herself away, has to use the flash as well, but they got Allison's flash in return, so not too bad. Keeps herself alive.
That does give them control over the topside river as bottom 3 ADC is left alone here. Gonna get aggressed on. Cleanse comes through, but he dashes back into the fight. Kill comes in. Proxy is here to maybe clean up. Marcus the Wasian should go down. Does get a decent amount of healing off, but Saxmuffin is also here. It's actually a party up in the bot lane. They're getting revenge for Mr. Simp for Sanchez's death up here. Sodalus does kill off Albitalia. The double kill goes through towards the Sejuani. I mean, I don't really think they care if tanks get it. Ideally, you want all the gold to be funneled in onto the carries.
But they sacrificed their top turret for that. They picked up the Rift Herald from Trundle here, and seeing as Malphite had to TP down to make that play happen in the first place, they still lost a kill because bottom 3 ADC died before that. So it's a 1 for 2, and they lost their top turret. They're probably going to lose their top tier 2 here as well.
Oh, Fat Cow?
Not good. Fat Cow's losing a lot of
He's actually getting the kill! But the 900 gold shutdown goes over to Proxy.
Big shutdown. Proxy really needs that if he's going to survive in this matchup. Could use that gold to. He'll probably use it to help complete his Sunfire, but should be using that gold to
Get a
walk
Thornmail.
back and buy a Bramble Vest right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bramble is like what? It's like 1,000 gold or something. I mean, I'm pretty
Thousand-
sure he's got
1,000
1,000 gold to spare.
I know he does. He just picked up 900. He's actually sitting on 1,300 right now, so could go back, sell a control ward, and or just place that control ward and buy a Bramble Vest straight up, and that is what he should do.
Yeah, I mean, like every place on the map is like pretty even. There's a slight 500 gold lead for the jungle. However, like the biggest deficit you see is in the top lane, where there's almost a 3,000 gold lead.
And that's after he just got 900
Yeah,
for
that
getting
is
that
after he got a 900 gold shutdown. So it's like it's actually like just giga insane.
I don't even know if this bot lane is ahead. I mean, gold-wise, the bot lane from red side is actually behind. So I don't know if they want to be making this play. They have their Renekton here. I think Renekton is a lot stronger than this Sejuani.
Samira has come in, actually misses a stun on the ult. Doesn't matter. She doesn't do enough damage quite just yet. It is just a tank line right now. You're not going to be doing damage to everyone. Fat Cow gets another kill, 6-1 and 2 on the scoreboard. As
Allison burns his CP again as well.
Big Ichi, maybe, gets the calling off. Why? You're literally missing all the shots, man. Just stand still,
You have
dude.
to hit Allison with that.
Big Ichi does kill off Albitalia, though Marcus the Wajan could follow suit shortly afterwards, but it doesn't matter. Targeting is absolutely terrible this fight from the side of Wooloo Gang. That gives Forehead 2.0 a free...
Hurt my eyes and hurt my brain.
What am I watching?
I think both teams played that fight about as badly as they could have. That little skirmish in the river, at least. Fat Cal decided it wasn't important and he wanted that turret first. Does come eventually, but turret more important than the fight. Big Ichi couldn't figure out who he wanted to hit, and so just decided to hit nobody. Allison was kind of in the same boat. I mean, just kind of standing there. Like, I'm sure he was trying to hit the Sejuani, I guess, but was just kind of either he wasn't hitting him or wasn't doing much damage. So everyone just kind of standing there making that river skirmish take a lot longer than it should have. But in the end, red side loses more members, loses more gold, down to about a 5,000 gold deficit at this point with 2 dragons over on the blue side. Looking pretty desperate here from Wooloo Gang. Really need some things to go their way and fast.
Yeah, I mean, like, when your culling is out, you want to make sure all of those shots hit, right? And when you consider the fact that Allison was CC'd for literally 20 years, and you decide to shoot your culling at the river rather than at the champion, that could have that probably broke the fight wide open right there. Just like huge misplays from Wooloo
He's
Gang.
Caught out here.
Yeah, Big Ichi
Good ult
is
from
caught.
Proxy. 4G's burst out. Probably will go down to the Ignite here. Actually does. Big Ichi dies as well, but at least they're able to turn that back. Now Sejuani's here. Splits the uprights with their ult. Gets nothing. Stunned up instantly. Teleport coming in. Fat Cow is in the fight. He's going to basically one-shot this Sejuani here. Allison actually picks up the kill instead. Leona uses her ult to try to CC some people down. Saxmuffin uses his ult to keep himself alive. In the end, the Alistar goes down. The Sejuani goes down. The Lucian goes down, and they only lose Trundle. Big fight win from blue side, and they're going to grab this Infernal Drake as their reward.
I mean, again, mechanical misplays. From both teams, actually, 4G, once again, running head-on into a Lucian with calling up. It's, again, not advisable. No matter how tanky you are, you're just kind of going to get... Where is this man's Manamune, dude?
He doesn't want
Where is his Manamune, man? Like, what?
Essence Reaver for the win.
Oh, my God. That Lucian has officially fallen off. Like he is pretty much a glorified siege minion at this point. Like, oh my God, why not just build like Manamune and like no flame to Big Ichi obviously, but there's a bit of beaten by Boris and a beaten by your own fingers going on right here.
A little bit, a little bit. I think a lot of players on both teams have been struggling with their target selection. They're seeing low health members and wanting to hit them, but also at the same time seeing members that are easier to target and probably the better target actually. And so they just kind of throw in their abilities in the middle. I think that's what happened to Big Ichi in that river fight. He saw that Albitalia was like 1 HP, but at the same time Allison was the bigger threat and locked up by Sejuani, so he just shot it in between them. And Sodalist, I think he just missed, but he came in, he engaged that fight and just tossed his ultimate in between all 4 members, missing everyone right through the uprights, and
Yeah.
then gets stunned back up long enough that Fat Cow can TP in and basically one-shot him. So.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, and we're actually playing towards a 22, 23-minute Soul win condition right here for the side of Forehead 2.0. If you just look quickly at the carry line, the Renekton 7-1 and 5, 6-1 and 1 on the Rise, 3-2-10 on the Senna, working towards item power spikes for everyone. Seraph's already completed, Roa almost fully stacks, but I have to stop talking, and engage is happening.
Sax Weapon is going in. His ultimate's keeping him really tanky, but he's all alone. Sodalist actually does manage to hit the ult this time. Albatay is locked up, and it's suddenly turned around back onto her. Uses her ultimate, trying to peel herself off, but does die. Big EG picks up another kill. Fat Cow is pushing on the bot lane, which is why they're able to end up getting this 4v5 and win the fight. He does look like he might be able to pick up a turret. Proxy's hauling his ass down there to help clear it out, but by taking the long path, I'm pretty sure Renekton, he's understood that Renekton is going to get a turret. So a turret for a kill. Not too bad.
Re-engage coming in, 4v3 this time around. The culling comes through. Actually fully tanked up. Big Ichi is autoing in melee range. What was that? Soloist goes down as well. Bottom 3 ADC also back in melee range, but you have no items, my friend. You do absolutely no damage. Goodbye to 3 members of Wooloo Gang. Sorry, Forehead 2.0 picking up a 3-for-0 in a 3v4.
Yeah, not the best decision there from Wooloo Gang. They still see Fat Cow down on the bot lane, and they decide it's time to go back in. But Proxy had actually gone to match him, so they no longer had the advantage right there. It was a 4v4. Your health bars were very low. Saxmuffin had no ult. He was like 1 HP with no Alistar ult. He couldn't go back in. And a lot of the ultimates were still up for blue side. So we saw that Senna ult come over on their head, do a lot of damage, and keep them all healthy enough that blue side is able to just kind of clean up that fight, no problem. 4G actually survives his headlong tanking of the Lucian ult this time, so they're able to plan out.
Going aggressive, a lot of CC onto the bot lane of Forehead 2.0. Shutdown once again goes over to Sodalist. No gold is going over to the carries. They're like so goddamn far behind, while the Sejuani is like decently fed. That's not really what you want to see. Albatali should also go down here.
Kill her?
Decent
I don't even know if they get this.
I mean, she just lived for so
here.
long.
They're gonna kill them. They're gonna kill themselves for it.
I mean, what? Oh my god, what am I even watching, man? He's just this Renekton is so
one kill, he kills everyone.
Of fed. Bottom 3 ADC dies. They're in between 2 towers. Holy shit, dude! It's a free Baron.
Ends up being a 2-for-3. They should have enough DPS here to still take the Baron. I think Red Side could prevent it. I know you're down 1 member, but all you have to do is harass them enough. There's not very much damage here to actually do Baron. Rise is really your only DPS on this objective, so Sodalist deciding he wants to just go bot lane instead, doesn't really have the HP pool, but if they were able to just kind of like hang around and like at least draw 1 member off to try to keep them away, you probably could have kept the Baron from going down if you're red side, at the risk of maybe 1 person dies. But either way, blue side coming out with another big victory. I think Fat Cow actually slightly misplayed that by jumping out of the tower, and he's just stayed under tower, maybe just kills everyone, but he does go out and manages to pick up pretty much 3 kills on his own, so still well played. Big gold lead here, up to 10,000 gold lead on the blue side at 22 minutes. Soul is rapidly approaching here, just 20 seconds away, so looking pretty much donezo for Forehead here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you just kind of just like force the team fight. I mean, both ADCs on the team are pretty much P shooters at this point, and when there's no ability power damage on the side of Wooloo Gang, you really gotta wonder, was the draft actually worth it? Was the Lucian mid pick worth it? Oh my god, Allison just does so much damage. Proxy ults in, but it doesn't matter. He's gonna get blown up immediately. Fat Cow
here now.
On a killing spree, bottom 3 ADC dies. The fight's just gonna keep on going, but I don't think
Sodalist lives? Question mark? They all Rise ult away, and Sodalist just was like, okay, I didn't go down. But Rise is here. He was actually 200 IQ, big braining us, getting out, flanking Sodalist, knowing he wouldn't be able to pick up the kill, even though he could have killed him before he used the ult. That is a ace for nothing. Forehead clean that up. They're going to grab the soul here. They still have the Baron, and they'll have the game as well in about 10 seconds.
Most definitely.
Maybe 20.
Blue team has slain the dragon. That's Infernal Soul over to the side of Forehead. 23 minutes into the game. They are literally like turbo ahead That's what we like to see.
They can take this fight underneath the turrets. They're going to win it anyway. Sodalis and Big Ichi are still dead. One turret's already down. If they focus on this second one, they should have no problem. Saxmuffin is already dead. Proxy's just melted through. He's not tanky at all. Samira hasn't had a chance to actually use her ultimate this fight. Every time she clicks it on, she dies about half a second later. Killing Big Ichi one last time in base, and Forehead take that victory. Well played to them. Wooloo Gang sitting firmly, I believe, at the bottom of that tiebreaker now. Will definitely be playing. Will definitely be playing in the gauntlet. And that should secure 2D Sim Squad and Forehead a playoff berth and avoiding the gauntlet. So well played to them.
Most definitely, and I think right now the last battle stands. It should hopefully be coming shortly regarding who ends up getting the 4th place spot over the 5th place spot. But I don't think it really matters at that point, since the two teams will be facing off against each other in playoffs anyways. So it's going to be a Forehead versus 2D Sim Squad playoffs in regardless of what happens. So
almost like a best of 4 at that point, because
exactly.
You're playing that first game, gives you to win side selection to play your next best of 3. So should be just playing 3 to 4 games instead of 2 to 3. Still a lot of games to be played in this tiebreaker series, because we still have that whole lower bracket mess to play through. I believe only one of those tiebreaker games have been played, and there's like, I don't know, 10 of them, 6 of them, 7, 8, 9, I don't know, a lot of them. There's like 4 teams all tied, and they all have to play each other. So a lot of games to be played in that lower bracket still.
Most definitely. I think just a quick preview of the matches that are going to be happening in the future. The tiebreaker for 4th place is going to be 2D Sim Squad versus Forehead 2.0. Both teams currently sitting comfortably with a playoff spot secured, not having to play in Gauntlet, while Wooloo Gang does indeed have to play. I do think Apes Together Strong did defeat Banby's Baskets in their tiebreakers, so that is a game that is not happening. I will update the doc. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been on that lately. Things have been really busy for me, but promise I'll get to it. But yeah, we've got Gum Squad versus Ramley, Apes Together Strong versus Ramley, Bambi's Baskets versus Ramley, Gum Squad versus Apes, and Bambi's versus Gum Squad. So those games hopefully should be scheduled soon, and we'll bring you some more content. One more thing to note is VODs hopefully should be up onto the YouTube channel by this weekend. If it's not, y'all can come to my place and tie me up and force me to upload them so I don't forget.
Take him up on that offer. Lock this man down. It would be quite amusing. And just remember, a lot of League of Legends ahead of us. The regular season might be over, but like Lokesh just mentioned, not even halfway through these tiebreaker games that we have left. Then comes the gauntlet. Then comes our double elimination playoff bracket. So there is still plenty of League of Legends to be played. Worlds might be ending. The season might be ending, but we're going to keep bringing some League of Legends action here at VCU.
Yeah, and with Worlds ending around the corner, where else to turn for your entertainment other than fucking good old VCU LCS, am I right?
VCU LCS. Promote us on Twitter, promote us on Twitch, promote us on Facebook. I don't know. Promote us wherever you can, so we can continue to bring you glorious content. We're going to do it whether you promote us or not, but hey, this is where everyone should come. This is the next World Championship. These are the best, some of the best players in the world were in this game. It's good stuff here.
We got fucking Mr. Fat Cow on the Renekton. We've got Allison on the Rise. We've got Red Lightning's Victor. We've got Lokesh's Yone. We got Brandon Wandon Wisher Washington on any champion he plays, really.
True.
Until he runs it down. We still haven't seen Brandon's casting. He's never going to get that, but
He will not get it.
He will not
get nerfed. It did just get nerfed. Maybe after 2 or 3 more nerfs, maybe then we'll let him have it.
Dude, just remove Presence of Mind and Caston's a bad champion again. I think that's literally
True.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a fun stream. Thank you to Dane for streaming our previous game. Thank you for Red Lightning for staying up past his bedtime to cast both games.
Fact check true.
But yeah, we'll see y'all later. Peace out, guys.